Okay, hi everybody, and thanks for logging on. I'm Julian Douglas. I'm the managing director of the CX Academy, and delighted to have Kathy Summers, our course director, with us today.
Hi there.
Hey, Kathy, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
So this is really a webinar um, to give you some further information about the professional diploma that you're doing, to try and give you some insights into some of the modules that are upcoming, to give you some insights into how to complete the assignments, and just to give you an opportunity as well to talk to us about any issues you're having with the course, or about any CX questions you have in general, or any questions of that type. We're delighted to answer them if we can, and if we can't, we get back to you. But more than likely, we can help you out. Um, I know that you're all on different stages of the course, but most of you will be somewhat at the beginning of the course. So excuse us if we go over ground that you've already covered, but we think it's important that you attend these webinars. And send in any questions you have. So just there's a chat icon or a messaging icon on your screens. So send them in and we get to them whenever we have a break or whenever we get to the end. This will be about 30, 40 minutes long. Sit back and let us try to explain to you a little bit more about the course. So if we just get our heads kind of in the same space to start off with regarding customer experience and what it is and some of our fundamental beliefs, we don't believe that CX is a soft skill at all. In fact, we believe it's an essential skill. And it's the fastest route to return on investment and increase shareholder value. Very important, fundamental for us here is that this is not fluffy. There is nothing fluffy about CX. It is a real bottom line enhancer. It's really important for the CEO to understand it, right down to the newest employee in the company. So everybody has a role to play when delivering CX. The benefits are many, and we go through a lot of those in the course, but it is a game changer for us, and it's really exciting right now. It's the fastest growing discipline in the world, and it's really exciting for us to be a part of it. And no more exciting time to learn it than right now. There are challenges with CX. It's very easy to understand what CX is, but it's very difficult to deliver it. It requires getting people sitting around the same table, breaking down silos, maybe old silos that have been existing for years and years in companies, and breaking those down and getting people to sit around a table and come up with solutions. Then technology, obviously, no more, like, so important today with what we're all going through with this pandemic. Technology is so vital. Online is so vital. There's so much more emphasis now on the online side of CX. But remember all the time, and it's one of our fundamentals, is there's such a need for the human touch. So the human touch is so vital in all of this, and to remain there. At our core, and these are sort of parts, mainly sort of real fundamentals of the diploma, is the CX Academy framework. There's a whole module on that, whether you've gone through it yet or not, but it's fundamental to everything we do. And it's fundamental to understand the emotional drivers and how they work, and the key elements that they play in decision-making of customers. Leadership buy-in and return on investment. We're going to go through one of the assignments, which you may have done already, but hopefully you may not have done, and you may be just about to come up to it. And it's in module 3, and it's one of the more difficult assignments, and we're going to take you through it in a little bit of detail, and Kathy's going to do that for you, because return on investment, as I said a minute ago, is one of the fundamental parts of this whole CX. Departmental buy-in, non-silo thinking, absolutely. Culture, vision, values, and empowerment. How to balance technology, how to balance your channels, and how to make sure all your channels are reacting the same way, and how customers can contact you on any channel, and you have a consistency of experience. Customers get a consistency of experience across all channels. Measurement and communication obviously is vital, and a real passion for customers is what we hope that this course will give you, a real sort of passion for looking after customers and employees at the same time. So we're the global standard. We've been going for a couple of years now, and hopefully we are setting that. This diploma you're doing is university credit rated. It's credit rated on the European Qualifications Framework by the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework. So everything is mapped to frameworks in your country. So if you're in another country, either inside Europe or outside Europe, it doesn't matter. You will have an equivalent level and an equivalent amount of credits on your own national qualifications framework. So if you want any more information on that, you can talk to us. The knowledge base. The company was started by Michael Killeen, who's our chairman and one of our course directors. Siobhan Mallon also is a course director, and we invite many different people who have expertise in many different areas around customer experience to give lectures and to sort of share their knowledge with us during the course. So in other words, some of your modules will be given by other people, some will be given by Kathy, some by Siobhan, and it's just the widest possible experience and the best possible experience that we feel we can give you. Kathy, would you just say a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. I've been in the CX Academy now since it started. CX Academy is part of the CX company, which has been going for 5 years. So we provide CX consultancy. We also publish an annual survey as well that looks at the top companies in Ireland for customer experience, which is particularly interesting this year. My background is in marketing and also working with customers as well, both on as a consultant, but also I spent 7 years in an insurance company as well.
Brilliant, thanks, Kathy. So as well as the credit rating, the university credit rating on the European Qualifications Framework, your course is also validated by a number of industry specialists, and these are companies such as representatives from companies who sit on our industry advisory council, from companies like LinkedIn, Google, IKEA, Virgin, all of these companies, and they validate the course content. So what they're trying to do is validate the certificate and the diploma content as being appropriate for the level that we're at and that we're educating, and also that it is real world valuable. In other words, it's industry valuable. So when you're as a professional, you want it to work in the real world and in the relevant industry that you're working in. So these are all people who sit on our council 4 times a year and validate all the content you're going through. So it's not just us saying this is essential. Spent a long time developing the programs. We took about a year to develop the certificate, and about another 8 months after that to develop and refine the diploma content. It was a lot more than we thought at the beginning, but I think we're very, very happy with the outcome of it. But it is incredibly detailed work and accurate work, and much more has gone into it than I would have thought from the beginning. So just to put your minds at ease that we've actually done a hell of a lot of homework here, creating lecture scripts, creating learning outcomes, shooting lectures, all of these type of things that take so long. So the course is divided into various elements, as you know, video lectures, presentation toolkits, many different things. And it's also divided into assignments, mandatory assignments from each module that need to be returned to us, and 2 assessments. So there's 1 assessment at the midpoint of the course after module 5, and 1 assessment after module 10, which is the final assessment. We're going to go through the assignment, 2 of the assignments in more detail in a minute. But first, Kathy's just going to pick out a few elements of why these modules are here and why we chose the modules and what are the important elements in each module. and what to watch out for.
Yeah, so what we tried to do is to give you everything that you would need to be able to go off and write and implement a CX strategy. So we've covered it here in the 10 modules. The first one, which probably some of you have already done, is the fundamentals. So this is our definitions, our principles, what are the key benefits for CX. The second is the framework. Julia mentioned there's a whole module around the framework, and that really involves going through each driver in detail and looking at the different behaviours and skills that are required to deliver CX excellence through each one. And we also talk about why the framework is so important and how to use it. The third one is champions of the cause, and this is a key module because you really need leadership buy-in in order to implement a CX strategy and get support from across the whole organisation. So we really have given you some practical tools here to help you get buy-in from the team. There's a whole piece around how to demonstrate return on investment. We talk about the power of persuasion. We also show you how to build a CX task force. So what we've really tried to do through all of the modules is give you tools, give you different elements that you can actually use, and to make it very practical. It's not just all the theory. Module 4 is all about culture and staff empowerment. This really covers why having a customer-centric culture is so important and takes you through the steps to actually do that. Includes developing a vision, values, embedding them in your organisation, recruiting and managing people, and linking culture to your practices and reflecting it also in your work environment. We look at why empowerment is so important and how to empower people in your organisation. 5 is all around measurement and benchmarking, and there's lots of different ways that you can measure customer experience. We'll take you through the business case, we'll take you through the key metrics, both the differences and the limitations of each, how to put a voice of the customer program in place, and most importantly as well, how to communicate results of your CX measurement so that you get buy-in from the rest of the organisation. Module 6 is all around developing a customer promise. It's really important that you have a clear customer promise because that helps to set your customer expectations. Again, looking at how you get the organisation involved in developing that promise and getting buy-in to actually live by that promise. The 7th module is all around channel harmony. And obviously, companies are using huge numbers of channels to interact with customers. And as customers, we expect to be able to hop from one to the other with no problem. This module really helps you to look at what are the benefits of having all of those channels working together, and we'll highlight the key challenges. There's a couple of tools here to help you, a channel strategy framework, and there's a customer channel audit and a channel capability audit tool as well. And those will really help you to look at your own situation. Module 8 is customer journey, and customer journey mapping is really at the center of customer experience. We'll take you through what it is, why it's so important, how it fits in your overall strategy, and how to do it. And again, we've got a couple of tools here for you to use and templates. So there's a persona template, there's a journey mapping template. 9 is all around technology and digital innovation in CX. And obviously this is something that has really come to the fore in the last couple of years, but it's really to help you understand what's the role of the CX practitioner in digital and tech innovation. What should you be doing? We take you through the different types of technologies that are used, pitfalls, and how you can use the framework to ensure that the technology that you have delivers CX excellence. We also talk, Julia mentioned this already, and this is critical about getting the balance right between technology and the human touch. And last but not least is our module on a passion for customers. So we talk about customer passion, why it's so important. CX is hard to implement, so you have to have passion, and having that passion will make all of the difference. And also module 10 as well, we do a recap of all of the key pointers and the considerations from the whole diploma course, and we've done it in the form of the CX strategy guide. So that will really give you everything you need to develop your own CX strategy. So that's our modules.
Brilliant. Yeah, so that's hugely wide, and these are just some of the downloadable tools, strategy tools, and that you're going to come up with on the course. So obviously the CX Academy framework is fundamental to everything we do. The assignments are hugely important. They will steer you and they will guide you in practical ways that you won't get from other parts of the course. There's obviously mandatory assignments, but there's also other assignments there on each module, which you can do in your spare time if you want, or even just look at some of those suggestions that we make, because the assignments are the way that you really learn through doing and through practical application. Every module has a detailed summary and takeaway documents, so you will have revision documents and download them, print them out, keep them, put them in folders. Rating and benchmarking cards, these are really interesting. We kind of were trying to figure out how to allow companies and learners to assess where they sit with CX when you're talking about each module, because when you're going through each module. So Kathy came up with this great idea about sort of being able to assess your own level when applying that to the module that you've just completed. So it kind of benchmarks you as a company as to where you sit and shows you how to improve. And I'll show you a little bit about that in a minute, how that works. Best practice case studies we go through. The benchmarking template for the CX framework is really important, where you sit as regards each emotional driver. Customer persona templates, as Kathy was talking about, and customer journey templates, both empty ones and full ones, and ones to show you how to do it. Return on investment templates, this is partly in module 3 as well, and part of the assignment in module 3, which we'll look at now. And then the channel harmony strategy framework, how to balance channels and how to ensure consistency across all channels. And it gives you a framework to do that. A technology and glossary guide, how to kind of like a little cheat sheet on technology. So when all those techie guys throw all those words at you, you can understand a little bit about what they're talking about, and at least be able to get a grasp of it. And then finally, the strategy guide. So how to actually implement everything you've learned on this course into a proper coherent strategy for your company or your organization. So let's just look at the assignment first. Now, this is the assignment from module 3, and it's probably the most important assignment on the course. And there's a fair bit in it. So what I'm going to do is just going to go actually to the assignment now, and I'm going to open it in, all our assignments are available in Microsoft Word, which means that you should stick to Microsoft Word when you're doing the assignments and use the templates that we give you, because it's going to make things a hell of a lot easier for you, because you can follow the way that we've set the assignment up as opposed to starting from scratch. So this is module 3, and this is the mandatory assignment that you have to send back to us around champions of the cause and around various different buy-ins. And really what it's about is we deal with 3 different areas and 3 different factors in the module. There's cultural factors, there's market factors, and there's business factors. And Kathy's going to take you through the various 3 different elements, what we're looking for in the assignment, and what you need to do in order to really understand the assignment and to get the most out of the module. Kathy, there you go.
Yeah, I can see a note there from Jenny saying she's doing this assignment right now, so she's all ears. So that was very good timing, Jenny. I suppose just to start with, before I go into the detail of the assignment, it's really, I suppose, from our point of view, the assignments are there for us to see what you've learned from studying the module. So everything you're asked content, leaving you practical tips and tools to implement CX strategies. So really, we want to check that you've understood them and how to use them. So that's really what we're trying to do. We're not trying to, you know, catch you out or anything like that. It's really just to see, have you taken the learning? This is all about getting leadership buy-in, and you know, we're looking at the 3 factors here. So these three factors are the things that will help you to tell the story to your leadership team of why they should invest in CX. So cultural factors is really all about how the company thinks and feels about its staff and its customers, and how they in turn feel about the company. Market factors is what's happening in the wider market and how it could impact the company. And business factors, so how CX impacts the performance of the company. So for each of the factors, we ask you to come up with actions against each one. So for every assignment, you'll have a template. We've tried to make it as easy as possible for you, and we've also given you examples as well. So in terms of the cultural factors, we wanted you to identify 3 actions, and for each one, we want you to give a description of what you're going to do, why you're doing it, how you're going to do it, and what you expect to get from it, how it will help to build your case. So what's the story that you're going to tell? So here we've got an example, and one of the things is, we want staff are saying about the company. And this is the objective of doing this, is really to bring the customer to life and to give them a seat at the boardroom table. Quite often the leadership team are quite distant from customers, so really trying to bring them to life, can make a huge difference. So, how you would, in this example, would be to analyze the output from a voice of the customer program to capture any key insights, capture verbatim, look at any data, determine loyalty and advocacy levels. So, what are the NPS scores? So, what we really want to do to build the story is to share positive and negative customer feedback from what you've done, and sorry, Julie, yeah, and show the number of customers who are recommending you or not recommending you. So it'll demonstrate how powerful it is if you give people a good experience. So then you can fill in your own 3 actions there into the template. So again, all of these factors would have been covered in the course content. Then our second one, similar to the previous one, is our market factors. So we want, again, 3 actions: what you're going to do, why, how you're going to do it, and what's the story you're going to be able to tell from it to help build your case. So here we're talking about doing external benchmarking. So it's really, there's nothing like somebody being able to say to a leadership team, well, our key competitor is doing X, Y, and Z, and their customer experience is much better. So, demonstrating where the gaps are. So you can either do looking at national surveys, you could do research into direct competitors, you could do a simple audit, get other people in the company to help you do that. So really you're showing, how do we perform against our competitors? What are the gaps and how might we close them? Okay, I can see there Jenny saying it's been really useful to keep going back to the recorded course content for ideas. So again, all of these assignments were all written from the stuff that we actually delivered. So there are examples in the course content of what you can do under each of these 3. But it's really about, I suppose, trying to make it relevant for your own business. So as well as learning, you're also getting ideas of what you can do. Okay, so that's the second part. The third part is the business factors. So this is all about performance, and this is probably the key piece, because this is all about the money and what's the return. And this is the area where I know a lot of people aren't used to doing this. If you follow the course content, and if you also, I'll take you through an example as well. So we've put in a really detailed example here. So again, we want you to demonstrate the business benefits of investing in customer experience by identifying one way that you'll make money and one way that you'll save money for the company. So for each one, we want you to look at how are you going to do it, how are you going to make the money, what metric would you use to measure the improvement or the saving, what would the benefit be and how you would calculate it. And we want you to show calculations, what the investment required is and how you'd calculate it, and what the return on investment would be. So you can use, there's a tool, a calculating business benefits download to help you do this. So here I've put some tips into the assignment to really help you. So you can either use an example from your own company, or you can create an example. The key is really to keep it simple. And you know, I know some people have potentially struggled a bit with trying to do it with their own company, but again, as we're trying to just test your learnings, if you want to make something up, that's absolutely fine. It's just to really see, have you understood? Would recommend again that you'd use different examples for making money and saving money, because you can end up confusing yourself if you try and use the same thing, and to some extent you're double counting as well. So think carefully as well about the metric you're going to use to measure the improvement on the savings. So you'll need to demonstrate how you've calculated that improvement or the savings using that metric. So remember as well that you need to link your proposed improvement or savings back to improving customer experience, because this is all about getting the leadership team to invest in customer experience. So make sure that you work through each step of your calculations, provide the detail. It's better to provide more detail than not enough, because when you know, myself or Siobhan, or you know, when we're actually reviewing your assignments, then we can see exactly, you know, how you've done it and what your thought process was. So if you use any abbreviations, because obviously we're not familiar with all of your businesses, please make sure that you explain what you mean. So you might have, you know, different abbreviations for different, if you're sort of doing things like, you know, calls, you know, number of calls answered or whatever it might be. You can do it over a 1 year, a 3 year or a 5 year period, whichever you think makes most sense. And sometimes, you know, CX is a long-term strategy, so it might be that you need to, you know, put investment in over a 5 year period to get the return. Again, this is one of the most important elements of getting buy-in. So imagine that you're actually having to prepare this to go into the boardroom and make your case for an investment in CX. So here's an example of making the company money. So by investing and improving the customer experience, we'll increase sales, because existing customers will buy more products. So there'll be additional revenue from additional product sales. And then I've done the benefit calculations. Okay, so this example is for a retail company. The CX manager's taking a proposal to the leadership team, showing that if investment is made in improving the customer experience when products are being purchased, it'll lead to additional products being sold. So here we've got our benefit calculations. So this is, what are we going to get back? So we've got our number of customers is 35,000. Currently, they're purchasing an average of 3 products per year. The average revenue from the product is €65. So the average revenue per customer per year is 195, 3 times the 65. So we've got our total revenue of over 6 million, which is our average revenue times our number of customers. So then we're going to, what are our estimated improved figures? So that we're saying that if we improve customer experience, then the number of products that a customer buys is going to go up to 4. So that will give us an increased average revenue. So we've increased the number of products, the revenue per product stays the same, but the overall revenue has gone up. So that gives us an increased total revenue, which has gone from 6 million to 9 million. So the additional revenue is the difference between the increased revenue taken away from the original benefits from investing in customer experience, what we think we're going to get. And again, you know, if you're doing this, if you were doing this for real, you want to show that there's a bit of a stretch there, but you don't want to sort of make it look like calculations. So what do we actually need to do? This is a retailer, remember, so they need to train the frontline staff. So we've estimated, and again, if you don't, you know, like I did this, put this all together based on, you know, it wasn't based on an actual scenario, but it's based on one that, you know, is similar to other ones that I would have done. So estimate roughly what your training course costs would be. And then we've got improvements in the online purchase process. So customer communications, investing in a new app, piloting web chats, all of those things are going to be quite costly. So we've got 75,000 in for our training. We've got 450,000 in for our improvements in our online purchase. We want to do some customer research into the improvements in the new app. So we've put 40,000 in for that. So our total investment is 565,000. So remember, this is the money that you're going to be asking for. You're going to say to the board, can you give me 565,000 and I'm going to improve the experience. So then if we look at our return on investment, then you're basically dividing your benefits by your costs. So, we've got so we can actually see that our return on investment is 303%. How to do all of these the calculations, the return on investment piece is all in the downloadable tool. But you can see there that I've taken it step by step. So it's clear, hopefully, for all of you to see exactly how I've worked it out. So that was the one for making money. And then we did one, I've done one here for saving money. So this is a different example. So this is for an insurance company who process large numbers of changes to car insurance policies. So what we want to do is to say that by simplifying that process, we can actually save money. And this has been driven by the fact that there have been large numbers of customer complaints. So we know where the pain points are, we know what the issues are, and how we can potentially change it. So we've got our current costs. So how much is it currently costing us to process these changes? So here again, we've worked it out line by line. We've got 80,000 customers who are making changes. So there's a cost to answer their calls and process the charges on the system. And again, I've done that on a cost per customer, so it's very transparent there. So that's our 80,000 customers times the 8. And then the cost to answer additional calls, checking to see if the change has been made. Because the process isn't great, the customers are calling back in saying, have you actually done that? So we're saying that 40% of those customers are calling back in again, and that's costing us €5 a call. And then there's a cost to process and mail the letter to confirm the changes. So you can see there that it's a very manual process. So our annual costs are 1.2 million. And here I've done it over a 3-year period because there's quite a bit of investment involved here. So our costs are 3.8 million. So what do we need to invest in? So we've got our once-off costs, which are developing the website so that customers can make changes. So we've got a big chunk of money, 500,000 in there. We've got the web chat functionality, and we've also got customer communications. So the initial investment is going to be 725,000. And then we need to look at what our ongoing running costs are. So we need staff to support the web chat. We need website support costs. We've got customer communications and ongoing investment. So our ongoing costs over 3 years are 1.6 million. So our benefits over the 3-year period are 2.25 million. Our investment costs are 1.6. So we've got a return on investment of 36%. So, and I think those are the sort of financial ones, but you probably have other benefits as well. And this is just in the broader sense, because you would have, potentially your net promoter score as well is going to go up because customers are going to have a better experience. They're potentially likely to stay longer, etc., etc. But that's to show you how to do module 3, and in particular, how to do the last part of module 3. So hopefully,
thanks, Kathy. That was really clear. I think probably, to be fair, that is probably the most challenging
yes.
assignment that there is, but really important. I mean, in effect, you're doing a business projection over 3 or 5 years.
Yeah. And it's such a fundamental part of a customer experience role, because you're always going to be back in a situation potentially where you need to justify investment, or where there's always competing things for investment. So I suppose just overall, a couple of tips of reading questions carefully, look up, be honest as possible about what's happening in your own organization. you know, it's an opportunity for you to evaluate your organization. And I know I've seen a couple of students actually who've done a little paragraph at the end of their assignment saying, this has really helped me in my own organization. I'm now going to do X, Y, and Z. And, you know, making sure you reread your assignment as well, just to make sure that it all makes sense. And as well, if you're, you know, there might be particular language or acronyms or whatever that are in your own company. Obviously, we're not aware of those, so making it as clear as possible. But I suppose, you know, we are always here. So if you have any questions or you get stuck, we're more than happy to do a quick call with you or send you an email. So do send in any requests.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kathy. So just to recap, there's one assignment per module, and there's one short academic essay that you need to do, which is slightly different. But when you get to that in module 5, it's clearly explained. But if you need any help with it or anything, just give us a shout. So there's 2 assessments. One is halfway through the course. They're very straightforward and simple assessments, multiple choice, drag and drop type assessments. And the pass mark is 60. And the way the diploma is awarded is the assessments are 70%, the mandatory assignments are 30%, and 60% is the pass, and 80% plus earns a distinction. And distinctions are very, very attainable. So please don't think that's going to be difficult to get. It's not. It's attainable, and more people get a distinction than get a regular pass. So it's not that hard. So when people, just as regards a quick word on the way to study it, consistency is really important, and don't go too fast, and sort of almost kind of slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. If you can do 1.5 or 2 assignments per month, 2 modules and 2 assignments per month, you will easily get through the course in 6 months. So you look at it as a 6 to 8 month project, and you will be fine. And just work consistently at it, and there will be no problem with it. Just to show you what I was talking about very quickly earlier about the rating and benchmarking card, and how these work. Kathy, would you just give us a quick overview on what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so these are really there for you to sort of like assess where you think your own company might be in terms of CX maturity. So we've got 3 categories, whether you're emerging, so you're literally just starting off, there's not, you know, you're doing very small bits and pieces, developing where, you know, customer experience is actually being talked about, that there are actions in place, but it's not uniform across the company. And then we've got advanced, where, you know, it's happening across the company, customer experience is very well embedded. So for each module, there'll be a knowledge area on the left, and then there's a description against each one. So for example, here we've got focus, you know, there isn't clarity on what's most important to customers. There's some developing is there's some understanding about what's most important to customers, and then advanced is everybody knows what matters most to customers. So you can give yourselves a score. Emerging is 1, developing is 2, and advanced is 3, and then you can see what your total is and which of the 3 boxes that you would fit into, and you can do that for all the modules. So it's a useful exercise to see where you are, and, you know, something potentially as well that you can actually revisit, you know, in 6 to 12 months to see where you're at, and also would potentially help you as well to talk to others and get their idea of, you know, where they think they are.
Yeah, and we always talk about this burning platform kind of idea about how it can be a lever to bring CX higher up the sort of schedule, is to sort of, if your maturity is very low in certain areas, I mean, you can use it as a kind of burning platform to.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's something again that we talk about in module 3, and that was under the market factors. You know, it's like there's nothing like a poor set of results or a competitor doing something amazing to create that burning platform that means everyone wants to listen to you. And I think it's interesting if you look at what's happened over this year with the pandemic, is that a lot of companies have fast-tracked CX developments, you know, have really gone above and beyond for their customers because they've had to. So yeah, it's interesting.
So we also obviously have insights, inspirations. If you come across any really good articles, by the way, we'd love to hear about it too. So share it with us as well. But we try and help you and point you in the right direction of some kind of content that may be inspiring. There's a book list. Some of these books are great. Not recommending you go out and buy them all, but maybe one. They give you, they're really positive. They give a really positive vibe, so they're really kind of uplifting and get you involved in the whole CX thing. And people are loving the course. So I know we've run on a bit in time, and we've had some questions during the webinar, and I don't think anybody has any questions. So we must have done a brilliant job, Kathy. Or else everybody is now totally confused. One or the other.
I know there was a couple of comments coming up there.
I know, Paul, thank you very much for your comment.
Thank you, Paul.
They're lovely to hear, and congratulations to you, and thanks for being with us on this journey. Much appreciated. And thank you all for attending this. Needless to say, we're here. We want to progress you at a steady rate. And Kathy is here, Siobhan is here, Michael is here, I'm here, Anna, Laura, everybody is here to answer your questions and to help you out as you get through this journey. And we will sort of see you soon. We try and have many webinars along the sort of 6 or 8 months, so we'll be setting them up all the time and inviting you to them, not you know, sort of ones about the course, but ones about CX in more general terms. So hopefully you will get benefit from those as well. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everybody, for your comments. And we'll see you the next time. And keep in touch. And thank you again, Kathy. It was great to have you.
Thanks, everybody. And thanks for your comments. And very best of luck with the course.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Kathy. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.